Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here and welcome back to another Division video. And in today's video, I just wanted to give you guys a super quick update. I was out yesterday doing some filming for actually something Division related, which will be on the channel hopefully in a couple of weeks, which I can kind of show you guys then. Can't talk about it too much just yet, but it will be coming your way pretty soon and hopefully you guys will enjoy that. But yesterday while I was out, there were a few kind of videos and trailers that dropped and there's been sort of like some interviews and news since then. So I figured I would just do like a wrap up video and basically give you the lowdown on a few things that you might have missed in case you weren't reading like all the latest stuff. So if you guys do enjoy this and you do find it helpful, then a like would be super appreciated, but let's get started. To begin with, there was a Guardian interview with Julian Garrity, who is of course the Associate Creative Director on The Division, and he basically spoke about different aspects of the Dark Zone, and the interview was focused around that and sort of what players can expect when reaching level 30, when reaching the level cap, and of course some of the stuff they'll be doing end game. Now the interview itself is actually pretty long and it's actually really interesting, so if you guys do want to read it, I will leave a link to it in the description box down below. Definitely give it a read. But there are a couple of quotes from Julian himself that actually shed some pretty interesting light on things. So one of them was when speaking about the Dark Zone, he said, and I quote, "This isn't the company line, so I don't know if this is going to be frowned on, but for me, the Dark Zone is the jewel in our game. This is almost a social experiment. We're definitely going to keep supporting it with events and special, very precise calendar moments and things like that. It's going to be part of a continued push post-launch." So we already knew that the Dark Zone was one of the things that would feature heavily in the Division's endgame, but the fact that he actually mentioned special events and also precise calendar moments makes things super exciting. I mean, for me, when you talk about events in an environment like that, it makes you think about, say, random encounters. Maybe there will be like roaming bosses. Say, for example, there could be, say, a named cleaner boss or a named like Last Man Battalion boss who we would not normally see. He might only spawn, say, once every 24 hours in a server or at a particular time, and as like a team you have to hunt him down, kill him. He might be a lot stronger than everything else, and upon killing him he could drop some really cool loot. Of course that's a bit of a speculation, but when you kind of talk about events in that kind of environment, that is the sort of thing, if you look at things like World of Warcraft or you look at like Guild Wars when you have like world bosses, that's the kind of sort of thing you can expect. On top of that, you could also have like miniature events, and when they talk about very precise calendar moments as well, could they talk about, say, supporting seasonal events? Could we be talking about sort of Easter and Christmas things? I appreciate it's slightly different because of course it's supposed to be a realistic or believable setting, so you wouldn't necessarily, you know, put like Easter bunnies everywhere or put like Halloween stuff, but at the same time there could be events that coincide with that. It could still be that on one of those seasonal events you have a special boss that might instead be themed so as to fit with the game, but at the same time of course represents that. Again, this is all kind of like speculation up in the air, but it's nice to sort of see they do have plans to continually support it and actually kind of keep things fresh, because we do know that once you hit level 30 you'll get a different instance of the Dark Zone. It'll all be merged, it'll be repopulated with more challenging enemies. But we now know from what Julian said that beyond that, it's not just going to be a static kind of like final level 30 version. We'll also have stuff that will continually be dropped in and stuff for us to do. On top of that, he also said, "We've done a lot of things we haven't shown yet that are cool with different types of exotic enemies, bosses, things like that." Now, whenever they say things that they haven't shown yet, you guys, if you know me, will know that instinctively my mind will go straight towards raids. Of course, they haven't said anything to kind of confirm them, but similarly in this interview, or in some of the more recent interviews, they also haven't said anything to disprove the existence of raids. So I am still hanging on to that. I'm still hanging on that they could well exist, but the fact that they've said they've also got, you know, different types of exotic enemies, bosses, things like that. So I imagine, again, they're going to be things like, you know, special named enemies, because we've seen like the yellow life bar guys that have got names, but there could also be, you know, special like higher rarity enemies that again we haven't encountered yet, because ultimately all the gameplay we've seen up until now has predominantly been low level stuff, and some of the sort of stuff from IGN First or some of the stuff that we brought back from the event was like level 20 stuff, but we haven't seen any really top tier end game stuff. We haven't seen any level 30 players, any level 30 Dark Zone, so there's still a lot of mystery out there and stuff that we have yet to discover. So those are just a couple of really quick extracts from the interview. They were a couple of sort of things that really stood out, but as mentioned, if you do want to read the whole thing for yourself, then I will leave a link to it in the description box down below. It's super interesting, but that gives us a little bit of a look into some of the things we might see coming into the Dark Zone. However, on top of that, there were a few other things that surfaced yesterday and also this morning. First of all, the Season Pass details appear to have been updated when you actually go to purchase it on, say, the different stores, so like Xbox, PlayStation and whatnot. And it seems that the Season Pass itself will now include all the retailer exclusive gear sets, or the gear sets that you could have got by using the Agent Origins code if you're in America. But to all of you guys that are actually buying the Season Pass, that now means you will get the Firefighter, the National Guard, the Hunter, the Police, the Hazmat, the Paramedic, and the Survivor Packs. All of those will come with the Season Pass, and of course that also includes the backpacks with the associated gear sets, the weapon skins, and of course all the cosmetic items. So all that stuff, if you bought the Season Pass, whether that's buying it standalone on the store, whether that's buying it as part of the Gold Edition, the Sleeper Edition, whatever it is, if you have the Season Pass, then you will get those items. The Season Pass does also list, but we have seen this before, that you'll also get special monthly perks including content drops and events, but again we have no details on those just yet, so we don't really have much more to go on. Now, 2 more things before I wrap up the video. GameStop also released a video from a recent event where some of the GameStop employees or like managers went to an event and they went hands-on with the Division and they gave some of their feedback. And in one of the comments from one of the actual GameStop employees, they were talking about, of course, do bear in mind it was like a marketing spiel, but they were talking about how you should buy it on Xbox One because it gets the DLC 30 days early. Now, we knew already that the Xbox One is considered the lead platform in terms of a marketing sense, in that it gets DLC first, but we didn't know up until now exactly how that would work. We didn't know whether it would get it, say, like a day early or whether it would be, you know, a week early. But it now seems from the GameStop video that Xbox users will get the DLC 30 days early. Now, do bear in mind this hasn't come from Ubisoft or Massive, it has come from a GameStop video. And while it is Xbox branded and it does look official, we still haven't had the official word from Ubisoft or from Massive. So feel free to take this with a pinch of salt if you want to. But regardless, it does seem that is how the exclusive content works. Now, it's a little bit annoying, I will admit, that I'm not a massive fan of these massive timed exclusive windows. It's not so bad if it's just like a day or two, but take Call of Duty, for example. Up until most recently, it was, of course, exclusive on Xbox first, and they had it for a month early. It's now switched over to PlayStation, and they now get the DLC a month early. But that is exactly what appears to be happening on The Division. So if you're playing on Xbox One, you will, of course, get the DLC first. If you're on PS4 or on PC, you will unfortunately have to wait. And finally, the very last thing, there were a couple more videos that went out. One of them is a live action CG trailer. It's also really, really cool. I'll link that down below. It's basically called Yesterday. It's just like a little kind of like story trailer that just sort of talks about how agents, you know, used to live normal lives and then suddenly now they are trying to take back New York. It looks really cool. The visuals are really cool. So yeah, definitely check that one out. And also we got a video talking about how TOBII eye tracking will work in The Division. Of course, this is like a new technology that allows you to use your eyes and just like look at different parts of the screen to do different stuff. And it basically talks about how you can, say, look at cover to move to cover, you can look at people to like shoot them, you can have sort of your UI hidden, and then if you just like look in the top left hand corner, it will reveal your map. There's loads of really cool features, again, that's also included in the video, so I'll also link that down below. And as I was just about to upload this video, Ubisoft dropped a trailer for the open beta. Now, for the most part, it doesn't really include too much new stuff. It's more just to sort of get people hyped for the open beta, but it did give us a super quick glimpse at the new mission we'll be doing. And this one appears to send you down on the ground. There was a location very near the entrance to the Dark Zone, where there's a sort of like train station looking area which was closed off before, but it seems like that might be where we're going for the new mission. And again, I will leave that linked down below if you guys want to see it. But aside from that, that is pretty much it. That was just a super quick update on some of the stuff you might have missed from yesterday, and that is what you need to know. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about all of this, and of course, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.